I would like all of you to join me with me in my imagination. Imagine yourself as a lower income child from a random province in Central Java. You are barely able to go to school, even more so when you're in class. The teacher is teaching a material so advanced above you that you got bad grades as a result. I think it's very demotivating when children are forced to keep up with advanced curriculums that many kids won't even care or understand or think that it'll be useful for them in the future. The problem is that the kids want achievement. That is what we want. But many in less urban areas, many of these kids doesn't even have the option to join this competition and to have those achievements. Many could be talented, but no, there is no way to facilitate them. It's like a gold vein waiting to be smelted into jewelry, ladies and gentlemen. My first rebuttal is on the prime minister's notion of the curriculum. Panelists, we need also to recognize the different kind of talents needed in its child. Not everyone wants to be an OSN champion or a master debater for that matter. The prime minister characterization of curriculum is flawed in that they are trying to make a single competition level national curriculum with no regard for the kids' ability or the motivation to do it. I don't think you need a very in-depth notion of Shakespeare drama or Heidegger's facticity if you want to be a theoretical physicist, for example. Of course, some general knowledge of literature or some general knowledge of philosophy would be good. But making every single subject a competition level is not necessary and even can bring harms to every single student. That is why we're so proud to oppose. First, let's look at the status quo. I think the purpose of a curriculum here is to facilitate a more general knowledge base instead of specialized ones. Because number one, it's simply unfeasible to make a competition level curriculum specific, especially in non-developed countries, since we don't have the facility, we don't have the connections, we don't have the means to support it yet, even in non-developed countries. But even if it was possible, let's be realistic here. It's also quite burdensome for all the students. A competition level curriculum means that it'll have more work to keep up with the curriculum, which means heavier burden, which may not be aligned with the interest of the student in the first place, which makes the school a chore instead. Not to mention that many online resources are already available, like with paid courses, Khan Academy, and such, which needs to be facilitated by the school to maximize their utility. So I don't see why a single competition level curriculum is needed in the status quo. What we need is we need to build better facilities first. What do we mean by this? We'll have the regular curriculum. Doesn't mean that there can't be any improvement, but we'll focus more on building up facilities in an attempt to be fair with the definition. Since of course curriculum could be considered as facilities, I will focus more on facilities in the form of other programs and materials needed for school, such as classroom surroundings, partnership programs with school and companies, and basically focusing on extracurriculars rather than intracurriculars. We need to prove that number one, their side is less urgent, and our side will bring more benefits as a result. Okay. Forward with my first point of substantive. The need for specialized curriculum, competitive curriculums is less urgent than facilities. Other than the reason I give on my rebuttal, as I said before, I would like to expand on what we should rather do instead. What we should do instead is to give certain kids the facilities they want and need it. This would mean that number one, it decrease the money needed for every single student, because we would just spend more money based on what the students want. And second is that we can spend more intensively for better facilities, which we could create a better impact at large. By funding the extracurricular activities and facilities, or to join more competition, you don't need a good curriculum to be successful in achievement, ladies and gentlemen. What you need is facilities to do it. This won't burden the child who don't want to be burdened by harder level subjects, while also helping them in getting the skills and capabilities in the fields they actually want. The government said that not many competitions need facilities. This is very simplistic, ladies and gentlemen. What they might mean is that not a lot of that we don't need a lot of facilities to held when the competition is held, but to prepare for the competition, absolutely many facilities are needed, ladies and gentlemen. You need to pay for coaches. You need to buy books that might be important ones. You need to spend more money to even go to the competitions. They also neglect that you need to be in actual competitions to succeed. And this kind of competition costs money as well. In basketball, you won't learn by just having matches with your own school, but you need to pay for to join competitions and learn from other schools and how they play. Competitions is expensive, even more so when added that the highly prestigious competitions usually happen in urban cities, which may be far from the school, which needs more facilities to join the competitions, like the transportation to get there, and overnight trip. This is why facilities is important. We facilitate those who wants to go to join the competition because it is way more achievable and way more have lower formal boundaries than in the government. And next is on the benefits that will happen. What do we aim for in this debate panels? I think cultural change is needed, especially in the status quo, where kids may not have the motivation necessary to study. We need future generations that could and want to study on their own in an attempt to better themselves. Why is this likely to happen exclusively on our side? This is because facilities lower the barrier of entry to join competitions and to gain knowledge. Why? Because when you have great facilities, such as a music studio for kids who want to create music, or traditional clothes for kids who want to join dances, theater rooms for theater as curriculars, even academic ones, like enrolling them for programs with local university. It would be easier for them who have previously no experience to join, to actually start to dabble in the field. Just join the extracurricular or join the specific facilities, and a coach would be able to guide them. We don't actually need a specialized competitive level curriculum to handle every single competition for every single student, because it might not, because it was expensive, as I said before, and second is that not many kids actually want it. When it's easy for them to join, they'll likely use it more. They likely use the facilities more and more. And even if they can't win yet, at least they tried. They tried it first and gain some knowledge for the specific skills needed. You might not win, but at least you can join. You can use the skills you got in another field, for example. This would create kids who are more willing to try new things and explore themselves given the right circumstances. Comparatively, focusing on curriculum would neglect other resources that could be had with the help of better facilities. For example, you need to be more selective when picking and choosing when and how you get certain external facilities like a studio or boot camp, etc., etc., and what kind of competition to join, since some competition might be far away. Well, under our side, at least we would able to have a more easier time to join competition and a lower barrier of entry for beginners. They try to answer this by saying that, oh, the government has money and the government can spend or already can facilitate these students. But notice that the government usually fund all those who are either already has a track record to succeed, or to fund competition that are really big. But sometimes you need new people who wants to try and win more competitions. Sometimes you need less prestigious competitions to join and to prepare which are easier to win, rather than only joining big competitions that reduce your mentality only when you lose, and that is why we're so proud to oppose.